Hi, my name's Phil. I like to talk about politics, and in this viewer's choice, I'll be discussing the special relationship with the US that France is seeking to succeed the UK for. But first, if you're interested in getting notified of daily news and political commentary, then please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So, should we split this up into two parts in terms of Britain's so-called special relationship with the US, as well as what France is hoping to gain as well. So in terms of the special relationship between the UK and the USA, from the UK's point of view, it has essentially been billed as the UK offering a bridge between the US and Europe. But it has often gone tragically wrong. Tony Blair, for example, famously made a balls of it in trying to be this bridge at the time that George W. Bush was after going into Iraq. And in order to try and stop him doing so unilaterally, he tried to get Europe involved. It went very, very badly wrong. And he ended up with America still taking unilateral action, only with us dragged along with it. And that's ultimately what it's become in reality. We provide strategically important sites for American military bases. We get involved in their conflicts, but there's no real support in return with ours, certainly not in my lifetime. Not that we really relish conflict these days. Not only are people in Britain sick of badly handled foreign operations, but we keep exposing the fact that our politicians get our military to bite off much more than they can chew. Now, we can't even claim to be a bridge between the US and Europe because, well, we're burning that bridge. So from America's point of view, well, they get military bases in good strategic locations, courtesy of Ireland still in the possession of the UK, though the Chagos Islands is a bit of a sore point, as I was discussing yesterday. And US presidents can also rely upon blind devotion when it comes to backing them up in military engagement as well. Even with Iran, our ministers have been backing Donald Trump's clearly illegal behaviour without any thought whatsoever. In return, the UK gets to rub shoulders with the world superpower and dream of days gone by when that was us. Not that it ever was. There aren't many alive today who really remember those days. So we're really like a mean but weakly kid who goes around with the bully for protection, and we poke out from behind them and shake our fists. That's pretty much what we've become now. But President Macron of France has been talking up a special relationship with the US for a couple of years now. With Brexit moving on to the next phase this month, France will be the clearly strongest and most experienced military force within the EU as an individual member state. It also has a colonial past and may even have a few islands up its sleeve that would be useful to the Americans for military bases as well, should that be needed to sweeten the deal, which inevitably it will. Not that I think they really want to make a direct copy of the UK special relationship, because it's very, very one-sided, and that France very different when it comes to relationships with other countries. I mean, in the UK, you wouldn't expect it to be an equal partnership. We're not equal partners. The UK would be very much a junior partner. The issue has always been in the UK that we don't seem to get anything from it. Certainly nothing that would be obvious to members of the public. France wouldn't be up for that. France would absolutely not go into that. And Macron, of course, has not minded challenging Trump at times as well. He doesn't blindly go along with him. But of course, that could be playing a long game as well. After all, Trump's opponents now are going to be America's leaders tomorrow. I've always found it a little bit strange that we toe the line so quickly with President Trump, because he's not going to be there forever. And in reality, what we're doing to back him up is surely just infuriating his opponents, who will be the next people to take power. And France, of course, could be a genuine bridge to Europe that the UK never really was. It's not just Brexit, this. The UK has never had like an eye on the US and Europe. We've always looked squarely west across the Atlantic. So politically, France are in a much stronger position to get a more equitable relationship with the US. They're fully engaged in the future direction of the EU, not simply having the potential but keeping it at arm's length, which is what the UK has always done. Yes, we've been a major player in the EU, but too often We have just kept it at arm's length and not really got involved to the same extent that we could have done. France have a strong, experienced military, as I say. They won't be blindly following into ill-advised conflicts, but they also don't shy away from engagements either. They are very much involved in foreign operations. In particular, their navy is well suited to the theatres of the immediate future, which will be needed. Again, too often in Britain's military, we get the wrong things. We build our ships and our tanks and so on for a future conflicts that the military commanders are saying, no, that's not where the future is. Why are you building this thing? What are you doing? For example, ships that aren't really very effective in warm waters. Oh, where do we need ships at the moment? Oh, in the Persian Gulf. Yeah, we can't use most of our ships there. Or tanks that don't work in the desert. America will, of course, find France much more of a pain in the arse than the UK. They'll challenge presidents and insist on being treated as an equal partner, never mind the fact that it won't be an equal partnership. They will insist upon it. But the US does seem to be of the view that France will be of more use than the UK, as the UK, of course, has allowed its influence to slip. That seems to be the way the narrative is going. Remember, President Macron has addressed Congress. And as I say, it's not just Brexit that has caused this. I saw someone make an interesting comment that just in terms of the way the UK and France have emerged from their post-colonial times, and that goes back, before even the EEC. And they said that France has handled its post-colonialism a little bit better because it's got more involved in the territories that it has retained, whereas Britain tended to try and keep as much territory as possible. France sort of, just focused on a few ones and got really involved. They weren't just outposts from their point of view. And they also didn't retain quite as much imperial baggage that comes with retaining a monarchy, as in the case of the UK, for example. It was noted that, there's quite a few in the Commonwealth, India chief amongst them, are not entirely comfortable with the Queen being head of the Commonwealth. And it is a subject that has been broached from time to time. It's nothing personal, of course. It's just a reminder of the past that everyone would really rather move on from, I think. But France is more easily seen as a modern democracy and has at least decided its own foreign policy. Whether for good or for ill, it's not been led by the nose by others, whereas Britain all too often has just basically taken the lead from America in determining foreign policy in any areas where America has a vested interest. In areas where it doesn't, Britain has been able to adopt its own foreign policy, but France has always adopted its own foreign policy on all matters. And lots of people have been talking about the increased emphasis that Macron is placing on strengthening the French military. It's a definite move towards making his country look like the obvious defence partner, as well as political partner for the US to adopt as well. Still, could be argued that with everything that's happening at the moment, maybe France would like to wait until there is someone in the White House who is not a certifiable lunatic. But anyway, there we go. We will have to see, I suppose, over the emerging decade, how the relationship between the UK and the US changes or not, and how the relationship between France and the US changes or not. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. If you'd like to support the channel further, then please also click the Patreon link for details. And if you'd like to get involved in choosing the viewers' choices, then click on the channel name and then click on the community tab, and you'll be able to see the latest poll there. So thanks very much for listening. Until next time, I'll see you later.